Hello there, 7th graders. This is Mr. Casci speaking. As you can see, I will not be able to be in class today, but we will still go through the notes on the screen just as if I were there. What you can see now is our schedule for the day. Hopefully attendance has been taken and the homework has been collected. If not, just go ahead and pause the video and do that right now. What we're going to be going through today is 11.2, which is on spreadsheets and data displays. And you do have a book assignment tonight for your homework. Okay, so let's get started right away. Once again, with any video lesson, if you ever need time to write something down, please just go ahead and pause the video and do that. Alright, so our first thing today is a spreadsheet. So this is a spreadsheet. Has many different things that we're going to go make sure that we talk about. And I'm sure a lot of you know that this is the main basis behind Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet. Alright, and then they have different things here. So they have different columns. Okay, so these are the columns, and those are usually in letters A, B, C, D, and so on and so forth. Okay, columns are going up and down, and these columns are labeled with year, VCRs, and DVDs. Okay, and then you have rows. Rows, obviously, going across like this, and these are the different years from 99 to 2004. Okay, so you have columns and rows, and then these individual ones are actually called cells. Okay, and the cells are just like this. The cell is just the one rectangle right there. That is the cell. This would be called cell C3. So you say the column first, and then you say the row second. Okay, so this would be cell C3, and in C3 there is 6, okay, which represents that in 2000 there were 6 million households with DVDs. And that was just getting started, because as you can see that they grow as it goes from 2000 to 2004, and it grows rather rapidly. And the growth of VCRs is not growing as rapidly as you can see in column B. So this is just another way to organize data and make sure that we know what a column, the difference between a column and a row, because if you get those two confused or backwards, obviously you're going to be going to the wrong spot. And a cell, the whole thing from A1 to Z26, and you can even keep going after that with double letters and things like that, but they're all made up of cells, and it's just another way of organizing our data. And we can use this data to make some different graphs, and those graphs are what we're going to be talking about next. So our first graph is a double bar graph, and as you can see from the title, U.S. households with VCRs and DVD players, this is the same data as our first example. It's just organized in a different way. Here are the years across the bottom. We have 1999 to 2004, and then millions of households up the side there. And then you can see that with our key, we have DVD, which is represented in blue, and VCR, which is represented in yellow. And you can see that it goes much more gradual with the VCR purchases, or the households that have them. Much more gradual there, but for the DVDs, they start in 1999. They don't start very low, but they do tend to get much more popular as we get into 2003 and 2004. Just another way of displaying this data. Obviously, it's a lot to look at. All of those years are put on the same graph. The one disadvantage here is that you do not know exactly how many. So if we were to just take a look at this, not seeing the data from the last page, if we were just to take a look at this right here, it would not tell us exactly how much is in 1999. We know it's very little, but we don't know the exact amount. Same thing for like here. We know it's We know it's above the 50 million line. We know it's above the 60 million line, but is it 61, 62, 63? We are not quite sure. It does not give us that exact data. This is more of an overall trend of what's going on with these. And obviously you can see the difference in how they're growing. All right, this double bar graph is a very good representation. It does not always have to go over an amount of time. Okay, these are just different categories here. Categories across the bottom. They do not need to be years or an amount of time. And a lot of times the key up here, in schools we have a lot of double bar graphs dealing with you know, boys scores versus girls scores or things like that. 6th graders versus 7th graders, and that's how we divide our data. In this case, it's over years and VCRs and DVDs, but there's many different ways we can use a double bar graph. But they are categories down here. Moving on to our next example. Once again, U.S. households with VCRs and DVD players, the same thing. All right. This is a double line graph. Okay, the years across the bottom. Once again, millions of households up the side. The red lines, as you can see in the key right here, VCRs are in red and DVDs are in blue. And once again, this is a nice overall trend of what we're doing here. Okay, of the increase of DVDs, the blue line is obviously increasing quite a bit from 2000 to 2004, and the VCRs are not as much. Once again, with the double line graph, you could not tell how much that is exactly. You know that it's between 20 and 40, and I'm guessing, you know, just taking a look how it's almost halfway between it, probably just under 30 million. But we don't know exactly how much that is. And one unique thing about a double line graph is that the bottom axis, the x-axis down here, is always over time. So whether it's time in years, or minutes or hours, it doesn't matter, but the x-axis is always over time in a double line graph. Okay? That's a main thing that you need to remember about a double line graph. Okay? So hopefully we'll be moving on to this homework assignment. You'll be getting some practice on reading these types of graphs and maybe even making some of them. These are all three of them put together. Here's the spreadsheet, the double bar graph, and the double line graph, and they're all representing the same data. Okay, some of the advantages over with the spreadsheet are that it gives you the exact data: 89 million, 92 million, 95 million. And these other two are just a general outlook of the trends that are happening. You can't really find those trends on the spreadsheet here. That's why we have the two different types of displays. And the double line graph down at the bottom is obviously always over time. We cannot change those categories. Those have to be over some amount of time. The double bar graph, these categories do not have to be over time. They can be different categories as well. All right. Moving on to our book assignment, Casci Cash. 12-2 book assignment is on page 540 to 542. There's kind of a lot of pages because there's a lot of those graphs that take up a lot of space. Problems 4 through 12 are 25-cent problems. Problems 13 through 17 are 50-cent problems. Problems 18 through 24 are $1 problems, and problems 25 through 27 are $2 problems. So please have that completed. Remember, you need $5 worth of correct answers, so I'd advise you to do more than $5 worth of problems just to make sure that you get the credit. If you have any questions, I'll be wrapping those up first thing tomorrow before we get rolling in class. Have a good rest of the day, and remember, I'm pulling for you.